My daughter took her stepfather's last name, and I found out through her wedding invitation. My name is Jonathan Price. I'm a 52-year-old civil engineer from a small town in upstate New York. If you had told me a year ago that a single envelope, just a piece of paper in the mail, would end the relationship I had with my only daughter, I wouldn't have believed you. But that's exactly what happened. And even now, on quiet evenings, the ache still lingers. My daughter's name is Lily. She was born when I was 28. Her mother, Megan, and I were married for 8 years, filled with 1,000 ordinary moments. Coffee cups on rainy mornings, shared glances across crowded rooms, arguments about groceries and vacations and parenting. When it ended, it wasn't because someone cheated. We were just finished, tired, worn down. Lily was 5 when we divorced. And despite the pain, we made co-parenting work. I had her every other weekend, every holiday. I showed up for everything. Dance recitals, school meetings, doctor's visits. I remember sitting in cold gym bleachers, cheering louder than anyone. I remember tucking her in after bad dreams, teaching her to ride a bike, crying quietly after dropping her off at college. I paid for her private schooling, her braces, her out-of-state tuition. Sometimes it meant I skipped vacations or drove beat-up cars or took on extra contracts just to make the math work. But I never saw it as a sacrifice. I saw it as my role, my privilege. Years after our divorce, Megan remarried. His name was Alan. A buttoned-up finance guy, polite and steady. He coached Little League, made perfect pancakes, always smiled for pictures. Lily liked him. Their bond grew over the years. And I was okay with that, truly. I never wanted her to feel like love was limited, like it had to be split or chosen. I wanted her to feel safe and supported in both homes. And I thought she did. Until the envelope arrived. It was a thick, ivory invitation, the kind you only see for weddings or funerals. I recognized the handwriting immediately. Lily's graceful cursive, looping confidently across the front. Smiled. Then I read it. Mr. and Mrs. Alan Whitaker request the honor of your presence at the wedding of their daughter, Lily Whitaker, to Benjamin Hart. I read it again. Then again. Lily Whitaker. There was no price. No hyphen. No mention of me. It was like I never existed. My hands trembled as I set it down on the table. I wasn't angry at first. Just hollow. Like the air had been pulled from the room. I texted her that night. Received the invitation. Surprised by the name. We should talk. No response. 2 days passed. Then 3. Finally I called Megan. Her voice was careful, too careful. She made that decision months ago, John. She wanted to feel connected to the family she built with us. It wasn't personal. Not personal. I repeated. You all knew. And said nothing. She just wanted to start her life clean, Megan said. Clean. Like I was a stain to be scrubbed away. That weekend I sat down and wrote Lily a letter. Not to lash out. Not to guilt her. Just truth. Lily. I got your invitation. It took my breath away. But not for the reasons you'd hope. You changed your last name and you never told me. You didn't ask how I'd feel. You didn't think I'd care. I'm not upset because you love your stepfather. I'm glad Alan's been good to you. I'm hurt because for 25 years I've been your dad. I helped you through nightmares, math tests, first heartbreaks. I held your hand when you were scared, and I worried myself sick when you didn't answer the phone. I didn't expect a trophy, Lily. I just expected respect. You're free to choose the name you want. But you don't get to erase where you came from. Not without consequences. I won't be attending your wedding. Not out of spite. But for peace. Take care of yourself. Dad. I turned off my phone and drove up to the Adirondacks for 3 days. No signal, no distractions. Just wind and trees and my own thoughts. When I got back, my phone was full of messages. From Megan, from friends, and finally from Lily. Her first message was defensive. You're overreacting. Just a name. Alan's been more of a father to me than you ever were. That one pierced me. Then came the voicemail. Her voice cracked with tears. Dad. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just thought it would be easier for Mom, for Alan. I didn't think you'd care this much. I see now how much it meant to you. Sorry. Please, don't shut me out. But something inside me had shifted. It wasn't about the name anymore. It was about being written out of her story when it was no longer convenient. Her wedding came and went. I didn't attend. Instead, I spent the day with my brother, fixing up the old boat we'd both neglected for years. We drank beer. We watched the sunset. It was quiet. Later, I saw the wedding photos on social media. Lily glowing beside Alan, bouquet in hand, captioned, Lily Whittaker and Benjamin Hart, a new beginning. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just accepted it. Months passed. Then one afternoon she reached out again. She wanted to meet for coffee. She said she had things to say. Things that couldn't fit in a message. But by then I had made peace. I told her I loved her. I always would. But I wouldn't be her emotional safety net anymore. I wouldn't be the invisible figure she could pull off the shelf when convenient. I'm proud of the father I was, I said. But I won't beg to be in someone's story. She cried. She begged. I stayed still. A mutual friend later told me she was expecting her first child. That she had started going through old baby albums, old school photos, old videos. She even asked for a copy of the letter I wrote her when she went off to college. Maybe she was starting to remember. Maybe she was starting to feel the weight of her choices. But I didn't chase her. Then, a few weeks ago, I received a letter. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting immediately. It was from Lily. Dad. I don't know if you'll ever read this. I was angry. Defensive. I thought if I could blend in, make things easier, it would make the past hurt less. But I see now that I erased the one person who never left. Alan never tried to replace you. That was me. You weren't perfect. But you were there. Always. And I see now how rare that is. Miss you. Lily. I didn't respond. Not yet. But I folded the letter carefully and placed it in the box that holds her baby photos, her stick figure drawings, the Father's Day cards with glitter hearts and crooked handwriting. It belongs there. Part of our story, even if the ending is uncertain. Now, when I walk along the lake trail near my house, sometimes I imagine her beside me. Not the bride in white, but the little girl in yellow boots asking if ducks could be pets. That version of her is easier to forgive. And maybe one day, if she ever truly wants to know me, not just make things easier, I'll be here. Not waiting. Just living. Names can change. Invitations can be rewritten. But history, the real kind, lives in scraped knees, bedtime stories, and the silent warmth of someone who never stopped showing up. One day, Lily may teach her child how to spell Whittaker. But deep down, she'll remember who first taught her how to write her name.